Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make butter chicken. Originally, butter chicken was a dish created from leftover chicken tandoori, and today it's a worldwide favourite. The sauce is creamy, light, buttery and spicy from the chili. Absolutely delicious. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Thank you. On my counter are the ingredients to make 2 portions of butter chicken. Let's go through the ingredients. We've got 340 grams of chicken breast. We've got 16 grams of finely diced ginger, 16 grams of finely diced garlic. We've got 1.5 tablespoons of red chili powder. We've got 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. We've got 500 grams of vine ripe tomatoes cut into wedges. We've got 90 grams of finely diced red onion. We've got 1.5 tablespoons of malt vinegar. We've got 1 teaspoon of fenugreek leaves. We've got 1 tablespoon of white sugar. We've got 1 teaspoon of garam masala. We've got 60 grams of cashew nuts. We're going to use 2.5 tablespoons of fresh double cream. We've got 40 grams of unsalted butter, and finally we have 175 milliliters of chicken stock. If you don't have chicken stock, you can use water. The first thing we're going to do is cut our 340 grams of chicken breasts into thin strips. So we take a nice sharp knife. We just want to have nice thin strips, nothing too big, just about like that. The next step is take half of the fresh ginger and half of the garlic, and we're going to take half a tablespoon of the red chili powder. Put that in, give that a little stir around, and then we're going to mix our chicken into our mix. And we want to mix our chicken a little bit to make sure that all of the chicken gets coated in the red chili powder and the garlic and the ginger. And once you've mixed it well with the marinade, we're just going to cling wrap this and put it in our fridge for about 20 minutes. So my chicken has been marinating for about 25 minutes, so we're going to start the cooking process. So we're taking our 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, putting it into my wok. We've got the wok set on fairly high, about 8. We're going to let that heat up for a minute or two, and then we're going to start putting the chicken in there. And we need to cook the chicken for about 4 minutes, but we need to keep turning it because of the garlic and ginger that's on it. So I've put about half of the chicken into the pan, but I want to do it in 2 batches so that the chicken gets nice and brown and doesn't stew, it fries. So now we're going to season the chicken very lightly with salt and pepper, and then we need to start turning it because it will get brown quite quickly because of the chili powder. So we need to move it around because we don't want the garlic or the ginger to burn. So we have it nice and brown on both sides. Remember, we're not trying to cook the chicken fully at this point. We're just trying to get it nice and brown. And then we want to start taking it out of the pan. And then we're going to go with the other half of the chicken. So let's do that. And spread that chicken out. So it's not stuck to each other. And then we want to put a little more salt and pepper on. Just very lightly. Again, you can see how quick the chicken browns off. It's only been in the pan about 3.5 minutes and it's brown both sides. So we'll take it out of the pan. So I've wiped the pan out to get any excess garlic or ginger out, and we turn the heat down to about 3 or 4. And now we're taking 20 grams of our 40 grams of butter and we're melting that. And as soon as that butter is melted, we're going to put our 90 grams of red onions in there. That's melted pretty quickly, so now we're going with the red onions. And we want to cook this for about 2 to 3 minutes until it's translucent. So you can see now that the onions are translucent after about 2.5 minutes. So now we're ready to add our tomatoes. So we've got 500 grams of vine ripe tomatoes, and then we're going to add about 2/3 of the cashew nuts. We want to save some of the cashew nuts for presentation, and the rest we're putting in. Give that a good stir around. We want this to soften up for a couple of minutes before we go on to the next step. And now it's time to add chicken stock, 175 millilitres of chicken stock, and we're going to add the other half of our ginger and the other half of our finely chopped garlic. And then give that a good stir around. And now we want to add malt vinegar, sugar, and the rest of our red chili powder, and then our garam masala, and the 10 grams of unsalted butter. And then give that a good stir, and we're going to let this simmer for about 15 minutes. So the sauce is cooked down for about 15 minutes and the tomatoes are now nice and tender, so we're going to puree it in a food processor. So we're just going to ladle it in. We'll probably do this in 2 batches so we don't put too much in there, and then we're going to strain it. So we'll put the lid on. So you want to puree the sauce until it is pretty fine like that. And now we're going to strain it through a fine sieve to get it even finer. We're now putting the second part of the sauce into the food processor. And we'll put the lid on and puree this too. So it's really important that 1, you've got a strong sieve to do this, and 2, that you really push the sauce through it, because if you don't push it all the way through, you're going to lose 1, too much sauce, and 2, the sauce won't be thick enough. So just patiently push that pulp of that sauce, those tomatoes, against the sieve, and it will go through. So I'm almost done with pressing the pulp through my sieve. You don't necessarily have to do this step. You could just put it in a food processor and pour it straight back into your frying pan or wok. But by doing this, you'll give yourself a silky smooth sauce. Don't forget, when you've passed the sauce through your strainer, don't forget to take your spoon and just scrape the underside, because of that sauce is just hanging off the bottom there. Put that into your pan. So we're returning our sieved sauce back to the stove. We want to bring this up to heat, and we're going to add our last remaining 10 grams of butter and 2.5 tablespoons of fresh double cream. And our fenugreek into the pan, and we'll give it a good stir and let this come up to a simmer. You can see how wonderful the colour is, how creamy it looks, how buttery it's going to be. And we're going to put some of the cashew nuts in, and we're going to scatter some of them on top of the dish when we serve it. So we're going to heat that for a couple of minutes and then put the chicken back in. So now the sauce is starting to come back to the heat, we're going to put our chicken back into our sauce. And we want to heat that for about 5 to 7 minutes to make sure it's thoroughly hot before we serve it. So here we have our delicious finished butter chicken, topped with our cashew nuts and a little drizzle of extra cream, served with coconut rice and homemade naan bread. The homemade naan bread, you'll find the recipe, just click on the link. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Thank you.